Hi and welcome to another episode of Degen BJJ with me, Irish Mike, my co-host Ken. Yeah, I introduced you today.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. With us today, we've actually got coach, training partner, in his own words, professional bad man, an all-round handsome guy. I hear on the grapevine he's a Guinness World Record holder for something to do with his hands.
It's not how large they are.
Requested to be referred to as the talent, but also known as Adam Squishy Brown. How you going, mate?
That was literally the best introduction I've ever had. And I think everybody should say that from when they see me from now on.
Is that how they used to call you when you come out of fights? What when you were fighting? What used they say when you come out? What was your nickname?
Squishy.
Oh, it was just Squishy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was never a good nickname.
You've kept Squishy with you for...
Yeah, well, Squish, Squishalicious, whatever you want to call it.
Nobody ever called you Squishy.
Well, they could start. They might start after today, eh, mate? So yeah, we obviously teased the Squish. Well, we mentioned Squish. Hole said today when I was just heading out the door, she was like, I've heard so much about Squish from the podcast. I can't wait to hear his episode." So here he is. I think he's another one we met through Mathouse. I always like to start with the introductions of how we met. I do remember the first time we met. I think it was we were sat on the mats with Aidan, and you were chatting to me and saying that I was saying I'd done a bit before I'd moved to Mathouse, and you were like, I want to roll with you. I want to know what 6 months of training outside of here it gives you.
Yeah.
And but then ever since then, I feel like you've been one of those like I said on the Zach episode where it's almost tough to remember the exact time and place that we started hanging out because.
I genuinely can't remember meeting either of you two.
I remember you were...
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Yeah. We didn't make that much of an impression.
You're decidedly forgettable.
Yeah.
No, you did the beginner's course.
Yeah. You only know that because I told you.
Yeah, because I listened to last week's episode, yeah. To be fair, I've been doing the beginner's course for years and years and years, and the amount of people that come through, I mean, you have a drop-off from the first class.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I can't remember your one.
Yeah.
Or you.
Yeah.
So, but I remember, like, most of the time people would come in, you would have 25 to 30 people, and you might lose 8 or 9 of them, 5 or 6 at the time, because the first class, it was always my favourite because you would have all of these guys that have come to a fighting school to learn how to fight, and then you would pair them up, they've never met each other, and then you would go, right, we'd spend 30 minutes going through the warm-up, which you guys both know now. And then
which is so awkward when you first start, like doing a forward roll. That must have got it right for about 10 weeks.
You think that's the awkward bit, and then you go, right, we're going to go through the positions. So this is close guard, this is side control, this is mount. And when you get 2 guys that have never met each other before, come to a fighting class, and you go, right, you sit on top of him in mount. Just wait there, and we'll walk round, make sure you're doing it right.
Not sexual at all.
Make sure you look at him.
Keep eye contact. That's part of jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu's not gay.
I always
keep jiu-jitsu gay.
Always enjoy that. Like I was saying the other week about the lads that come in and think like they'll just be sat watching from the side. So because of where we are on Oxford Road, you get a fair bit of foot traffic, and they'll watch like the first 5 minutes of the warm up, and they'll see like shrimping along the mat and stuff. And I've heard people like speak to each other. So they're like, "What good is this?" As if they think like that's part of the technique, but. The beginner's course got quite a high turnover in terms of people that actually stick it out and get to where Mark is.
I had a few people that are, if I look back at the picture, that are still in it. I think Ahmed was in my one.
You'd be surprised. I mean, there's a fair few blue belts that were in the beginner's course now that are going up. I don't know if there's any purple belts yet. Like I said, there's so many people that walk through that door and that you meet. And I mean, spending an hour with them a week is not a lot of time unless you stand out. It's difficult to remember. There's some people sorry to everyone at my house, white belts.
But it's some people's names, like I'd be talking to them all the time and I just forget, like. Yeah. And it's not out of ignorance, it's just like, unless I write your name on a timesheet fucking 5 days a week, I don't remember it. Like, I'm at work and I'm calling all the boys, but all the foreign lads by their first names, and everyone's going, how do you know all their names? I'm writing your name on the timesheet every week. Like.
Have you seen Dom's superpower? He knows everybody's name. I'll test him sometimes. I'll go, who's that?
If
I'll see somebody I haven't seen.
If you start paying me money, I'll remember your name very quick.
Oh, mate, he remembers everyone. Like even if all the kids, everyone.
It's not something you're blessed with, though.
No.
I've a head like a sieve as well.
Many times.
Yeah. No, I think we all struggle.
I was just dumb. I never got hit in the head that much.
We struggle with that one. But obviously, we all met through Mathouse. But before that, like martial arts, you've been doing martial arts for what? I saw in a bio somewhere today. 16.
Yeah, 16, 17.
16, 17 years. So where did it all start? Was it with jiu-jitsu or was it
no,
kickboxing?
It was, I was a personal trainer for years, and I got really bored with lifting weights and running and doing stuff like that. And I thought to myself, what's a way that I didn't want to give it up, but I thought, what's a way that I can get fit, have fun, and pole dancing, it was too busy. So I went. You were locked in then.
You were locked in then as well, weren't you? I mean, like
no,
I can't imagine.
It wasn't. See,
I can't imagine you pole dancing
I
with
saw
this
some of those questions today on that group. First off, fuck all of you people.
Those are coming later.
He's referring to the WhatsApp group, which link is in the bio if you want to join.
But no, I think I was a bit worse off, to be fair. So then I went and I started doing. I went to the gym that's been brought up.
The one that's been brought up in every guest episode so far. The heavy bag gym.
Yeah, so when I started going there, it was a proper spit and sawdust gym, like proper kickboxing gym. There wasn't much MMA, jiu-jitsu, and after a while, I think the gimmick of the guy who ran it was like, oh, I'm going to do jiu-jitsu, and we didn't know any better, and he started teaching jiu-jitsu, and that's how Zach got his ACL snapped and all that sort of madness. You get taught a heel hook on day one.
Nice.
Yes. And you'd be sent in. Like, I mean, for years I did kickboxing like in a cage, and we would spar 4 days a week without a head guard, small gloves, no ref. Just
that explains the memory issues.
Explains a lot. He used to be a handsome guy.
Yeah, come on.
You definitely never knocked anyone out with those pillow hands, anyway.
Jeez.
Just for the people that can't see at home, he did supply me with Magners.
So out of that, you start in jiu-jitsu there. Was that kind of where you carried it on consistently from then? Or because obviously you've gone, I know you went from white to currently brown at Mathouse, where we all train. So, you know, what did the journey entail to end up from headbutt and heavy bag to end up in the house?
So I think I had one of those, and you might hear it through your jiu-jitsu journey, your martial arts journey, but I put too much loyalty into a gym, which I think some people do, and I ended up staying there. So like we would have a lot of good guys come in, and then after a while they would sort of go away, like Luke, etc. Not Zach, but like Luke. And and I mean, I went to Carlson's with Luke the first time he ever went to Carlson's, and he said to me, let's go, let's start coming here. And I was like, no, I need to stay at this place I'm at. I was teaching kickboxing at the time. I was loyal to this guy.
Yeah, but if you're coaching there, I can respect that as well. Like,
was there like kickboxing coaching and that side of stuff higher caliber than what we've heard about? You know, the jiu-jitsu in terms of like, were you getting a higher level of coaching?
I mean, it was just.
Is it tough to say?
Yeah, it's tough to say because it was more. You would just go in and rock 'em, stock 'em, sort of thing. Like you
just wars, like fights, gym wars. You're having a fight as
you would have a fight. You would have fights, and I mean, he did teach. I mean, the kickboxing. I always say this: the kickboxing was good, the jiu-jitsu was terrible. Because when I did finally go to Mathouse, I remember seeing Mathouse. I had some issues with the guy I was training with. Eventually, realised I was being taken advantage of, and I wanted to go somewhere else. And I see it pop up on Facebook, like Dom's ugly face pop up on Facebook.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, oh, look, because one of the issues why I never went with Luke to Carlson's is because it was so far away, all the way, it was at Camberley at the time. So when something popped up in Reading, I was like, let's go and give it a go. And I remember going down there thinking, I was a brown belt in shoot jitsu. Yeah.
What's that?
Shoot the box.
Exactly. Good question, Ken. It's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like Japanese jiu-jitsu type thing.
You know when you've got a brown belt in it, but you can't explain.
Are you a black belt in it now? Are you a black belt in that now and a brown belt in proper jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. But I went off to Mathouse thinking to myself, right, I'd had like 5 or 6 fights, MMA, handful of kickboxing fights, stuff like that. I thought, I'm going to hold my own. I'm going to walk in there. White belts are going to be nothing to me, because all I had was this guy who had taught me, and that's what I thought jiu-jitsu was. Yeah. Even though I'd seen it on TV, I mean, we all know jiu-jitsu's arm bars, triangles, stuff like that, but it's how you...
Yes, the technique.
You haven't gone against anyone good.
Yeah. So I remember going against white belts and being like, oh my God, like I can't even defend myself here. I'm getting battered.
Really?
Like, and from that, and I quit the other place that day. Was at Mathouse.
Oh really? Yeah.
Huh?
It was that much of a driving force, like that you just fucking.
Yeah, I was. There was a lot of other stuff that had happened. Okay. I mean, I was teaching. He wasn't paying me. There was things like that going on. My classes were quite busy compared to his, and he would then go and do like privates while I was teaching. So like I'm not getting paid, and he's doing private, so he's getting paid all the way around.
Yeah.
And there's me thinking, oh, there's this guy. He's my
Sifu. Yeah, you were looking up to him, and then
yeah.
He's like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, you look behind the curtain. That was
the great thing. Is then I went to Mathouse and met Dom, and Dom's this
the real Wizard of Oz.
Well, yeah, but he's this. When you first meet Dom, isn't it? He's just like, Jesus, it's a scary guy. He looks like a shaved chimp. Like he's a scary guy.
I just like to say, although we do produce this podcast, we're not. Our views might not fall in line with every comment Adam makes.
But he's so good as well, and he got taught by Hodger and stuff like that. And then when you start training it and you start learning, you think, this is proper. This is proper.
Yeah.
Like, and there was the other thing I liked. There was none of this bowing stuff.
Yeah,
and
a lot of the traditional bullshit.
Yeah. I've done kung fu before, and you've had to sit down in front of like a shrine basically and light incense to some dude I've never met before. It's weird.
So would you sit down and light incense for Dom?
No, absolutely not.
Just made it sound like some dude I never met before, like you would do to someone you'd met.
He's acting like he doesn't do it already.
Yeah, there's a picture in the corner of the gym.
In his general direction.
Did you do all your MMA fights at the other gym?
Yeah. Which is terrifying when I look back on it now, because I was not.
Because you did all right, eh?
Yeah, I did all right. But you got to remember as well, I'm old. It's shit.
You were doing it when people used to call it cage fighting and thought it was brutal and murderous.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on. I remember doing a no-gi jiu-jitsu competition, and we had to find one. There was none around. I think we travelled like a couple of hours.
What year is this?
Again, I'm a bit punchy. So within the last 16 years.
Give us a ballpark.
Well, I've been at Mathouse now for 8 years, so it would have been probably couple of years before that.
8+ years ago.
8+ years ago, yeah.
What was your MMA record? Do you remember?
Oh, I did 6 and I won 6.
6-0.
6-0, but the
no
last
UFC
one,
call out.
No, the last one I got check hooked in the last round, and I couldn't see, I couldn't hear anything, and if it had gone 5 more seconds,
can you tell the story about the time you were in the time you were in the crowd, does that count was that on your record?
Yeah, that's on my record.
Can you tell that story?
It's not a long story.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect.
Again, it was like times of nightclub fights basically, and somebody pulled out, and basically everybody sort of knew each other back in the day, and they was like, is there anyone that wants to fight? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I was about 3-4 beers in.
In the crowd?
Yeah, in the crowd. Yeah, I went and got a mouth guard. They got a kettle from somewhere, heated it up, put it in.
Gave you a boiling bite there in the room.
Yeah. I went and fought, and then I put my clobber back on afterwards.
What way did you win? What way did you win? What way did the fight go?
Points, I think that was on. Yeah.
I was so hoping you tell him, like you told me, that you just leg kicked the fuck out.
That's what I always did. I always leg kick people.
So you were doing it before. Like, I don't know who's the guy in the UFC who started doing it, but it's in Barboza or someone like that. But
I did it to Luke. He in training. Again, this is what this place I was training at. Like he had a fight coming up, I think that weekend, and I kicked him as hard as I could in the leg.
That sounds like you're back and forth kind of. All right, I'm going to prep you for a fight here.
That sounds like your kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So were you mostly like when you did your MMA stand-up kind of kickboxery style? didn't really grapple too much because you hadn't really gone that deep on jiu-jitsu at that point?
No, there was a bit of both, if I'm being honest. I would say even now, like from the judging side of stuff, the jiu-jitsu in like sort of regional amateur MMA, it's not high level. It's not like there's a couple of fights I've judged recently where you see somebody do some beautiful jiu-jitsu and you think, Jesus Christ, like what's it? And you speak to them afterwards and they're like, I've just got my blue belt. And you're like, oh, okay. So is
that because the opponent wouldn't be well versed in it and it just looks good, or do you think?
Most people, I mean, jiu-jitsu for MMA is very different. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and talk too much shit about it, but it's there's a lot more people could do. There's a lot more sweeps that could happen, etc. But a lot of it is just, I mean, half guard's a brilliant position for MMA jiu-jitsu. Guard's a brilliant position for MMA jiu-jitsu. So people just tend to hold people there and bang. That's what people. This is what gets bums in seats as well. People getting smashed up.
You want to see people want to see striking. They don't want to watch two fellas having a high level grappling match. Like.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's only for people
especially
like us.
on the regional scene.
Yeah.
Full of ears.
People like us want to see that. Like you start seeing somebody doing jiu-jitsu and you're like, oh,
I didn't
Jesus,
pay.
yeah, that's brilliant. Like I just did one at the weekend. Just gone took Zach with me. He's the
he was doing timekeeping, Phil.
Yeah, of course he was. And somebody won by buggy choke.
Oh yeah, Zach actually posted that. Yeah.
And he was losing up until that point, and it was good. It was good to see sort of jiu-jitsu being used that way.
That's an unexpected choke, though. It was.
It was.
And to pull it off is actually fairly good, like, isn't it? I mean, it's an easy escapable choke, especially if you don't really need to know, do you?
You'd have thought. Was it amateur MMA?
Yeah.
So they couldn't slam.
Yeah, they could have.
Okay.
It's the rule set is. So, say for instance, you're in a you can't slam, you can't spike anybody on the head. But if somebody say puts you in a triangle, you stand up and you're going to slam it back on the ground, that person has plenty of time to let go of the triangle. So if they don't,
it's on them.
It's on them. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair play.
Is there any way? Like, how did you get into the whole?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know.
No, I was going to talk about the judging side of stuff as well.
How you got into that and having running these shows and stuff.
Is that something you've been doing longer than you've been doing jiu-jitsu?
Could you describe what it is you do as well?
Yeah.
Just for.
That's actually probably good because we know and we're assuming knowledge. Start with what you do with the judging and putting together a little cruise of oddballs that you take with you.
Yeah. So I judge regional shows around the country. There's a good group of people that do it. I also on some shows look after the runners and commission side of things, so I'll get people that help run the backstage, if you will. Basically the runners.
Would you be judges then on those ones that you're saying commission side of thing? Would you be?
I'm always a judge.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I always do judging. So I'll either on most of the shows I do now, I'm head judge, and sort of the bigger ones, I'm just a normal judge.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been doing it about 8 years, 7-8 years now. I got into it through the last gym I was at. Like, I met a lot of people, like, as you've been finding out, through that gym. Mm-hmm. Like, and there's a lot of guys that, like, the Gods of War guys and stuff like that I met through there. And there's one guy I met in there, a guy called Ron Frith. He lives up north now. He was a referee at the time. And he brought me along and got me doing refereeing, which I'm not a fan of.
You don't want to be the person taking the decision away from
Why's that? Why don't you like refereeing?
I did a show up in a nightclub in Stoke, one of Ross Poynton's shows years and years ago, Night of the Gladiators. Ross Poynton was a UFC fighter, I don't know if you know him. And Ron thought it would be a good idea to give me the two biggest guys that were in there, the only two that had kicked off at the weigh-ins as well.
Oh, okay. Is that because he reckons you could handle yourself, or just for the crack of it? Because you're a mate of his?
100% for the crack. I was nervous.
He knew it was his first time.
I was nervous and stuff like that. So it was me, a guy Andy, who's basically the guy I work with now most of the time, who's still a referee, and Ron. And it happened to be white collar MMA, this one. So there's no strikes on the floor. there was strikes standing up. They had the shinies on. They had the 8-ounce MMA gloves. First round started. The bigger of the two massive guys took the other guy down. Got him mount. Started putting Americana on him, but he couldn't finish it. Didn't know what he was doing. He's had 8 weeks of training. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So he's going, just trying to force it on. Nothing's happening. The round ends because they're not allowed to strike on the floor. Second round starts, same thing happened. They sort of have like a little back and forth, bum rush each other. One of the other guys takes the other guy, the bigger guy takes the other guy down again, gets on top, starts putting Americana on. Now in the rules meeting, especially to the white collar guys, we said to them, you've got to go work tomorrow. Yeah, if we think you're in danger, or if you do any verbal taps, like you cry out or anything like that, we're going to stop it. This guy's putting an Americana on, and this time he must have had some sort of purchase on it, like from Mount. So he's twisting it on, and the guy on the bottom's going fuck, like that. So I've gone.
That's a verbal tap.
That's a verbal tap. That's what I thought. So I've gone. Stop there.
Mike would have stopped it.
Yeah. Soon as Mike would have. Well done.
What would have happened next if Mike had stopped it?
I'll tell you. As soon as I stopped it, there was a judge sat right there by the cage, and he goes. Oh, the guy on the bottom, first of all, he goes, I didn't tap. And I was just about to say, that was a verbal tap, he was shouting out. And the judge goes, yeah, you didn't tap, ref. As soon as he said that, the corner went mad, started running, come into the cage. They started kicking off. The guys jumped off. He started kicking off. The other corners come running in, kicking off. Then I look into the crowd and they put the two people's fans next to each other. Now they're fighting. I see a chair fly across. I see Ross pointing, fly into these guys having a fight. Now there's glasses flying into the cage as well. Everyone's still shouting at me, and I think, oh fuck, I need help. I need help. I'm up in Stoke in a nightclub somewhere, like floor sticky. It's horrible. I look over, and Ron, the guy who's brought me here, my saviour, stuff like that, is asleep in the fucking DJ booth. So I'm looking at him, like I'd look at Andy. Andy comes running in and he's like, look, if that's your decision, that's it, just stop it. And yeah, from then I was like, I want to be involved in MMA, but I am never reffing again. The guys who do reffing, unbelievable. It's more stressful to ref than it is to fight, by far. Because you're looking after those guys, and it's their records, and it's their...
Especially if they're up and coming or trying to build something, but that was a white collar, let's relax.
Yeah, that's it, but then it's the same thing. Like if you're a ref and you're looking at a guy who's got like a full arm bar on and his arm's starting to bend the other way and stuff like that, when do you stop it?
That break.
Yeah, do you watch it break, or do you... Because if you don't, maybe the guy goes, well, I didn't tap, like that, and then you're in trouble.
Some people are too strong for their own good, aren't they?
Well, again,
especially in like a pro MMA match, eh?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, you speak to some of these refs and they'll go, yeah, let it break.
Well, there's some lads known to go out in the gym for fuck's sake, and that's for no reason.
But they might get out of it and they might come back and win and stuff like that. So you don't. It's one of those.
So how did you get from that spectacular first reffing experience to where you are now as a semi-respected?
To be fair, to get into this sort of stuff, I've realised that it's like anything. It's like, say, with jiu-jitsu, you put the time in.
Persistence.
Yeah. It's a bit of a boys' club getting into all of this, because once you're in and people like you and you do a good job, they'll always ask you to come back. So then it ends up being your sort of show. So
you just have to have the right people with you, so make a good event happen. Yeah,
and then, I mean, what will happen is other people, say, might not be able to make it for whatever reason, and then you're on a list. So they might turn around to you and go, look, yeah, here you go, like, we need a judge. Adam's free, let's ask it. Oh, Adam did well, we'll ask him back. Adam was shit, we won't ask him back, whatever. That sort of thing. And I've been doing it for so long now. And I've got some big shows that I'm doing.
Yeah, what are the biggest events that you do?
I've just done Cage Warriors, but that was the Academy one. So the sort of feeder show to the bigger one.
That must be very big though. You must be proud of yourself to get that little...
Yeah, I was happy with getting that.
How did that go, or was there anything?
It was the best show I've been on.
In terms of how it was run and everything.
Yeah, how it was run, like as well, is that you have a team of judges. It's not just 3 judges sat there all night like it is at some shows. It's 5 or 6 judges, so you get a couple of fights off. Yeah, okay. So every few fights you do, you get a couple of fights off, which then helps you sort of de-stress.
Yeah, like, and people can't blame the judging then if they're circulating a bit as well.
If you're tired or whatever, and
you might miss some things.
This is the thing with judging, is the reason that there's judges all around the cage is what Ken sees to what I see to what you see might be completely different. Generally, they're all the same thing, but if I've got a guy right in front of me doing sort of like in mount, doing like going for chokes or something, and you two can only see the guys.
Yeah, if he sees back and you can see his front.
Yeah, and you might be thinking, and the guy on the bottom's just keep throwing punches. You two might be like, okay, well, he's
defending from the bottom.
Yeah, he's doing stuff, whereas I'm seeing something else, and that's why you have so many judges.
Did you have to do any like courses or anything?
Yeah,
like
I did.
Qualifications to get onto it.
I did I did one of Mark Goddard's courses.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark and sort of the higher level echelon guys that are in the UK, they run something called EMA, the English Mixed Martial Arts Association. Okay. So you can go and do judge. If anybody wanted to get into it, you can go do judge courses. You can go and do referee courses, and then you can then go say shadow somebody like myself or somebody like Mark. Or
let's be honest, if someone was with you, they would be in your shadow.
Stop it, Michael.
No, I mean because you're tall and fat.
Okay.
Build him up with a compliment.
Ripped it away. Ripped it away.
I mean, I'm going to pay for this in the mat tomorrow.
Did you finance all that yourself then? Like, see the courses in that you finance yourself, and then you put in the grind with 3
Yeah. I mean, you get paid for shows, so I mean, it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, you need to do your shadow, and you need to understand the rule set of MMA. I mean, a lot of people, including fighters and coaches, generally don't know what the rule set is a lot of the time.
Which is why you have so many arguments at the end and so many...
Well, if you do a good show and you do a good job, there shouldn't be any arguments. Yeah. And also it shouldn't come to the judges. You're an official. That should go to the promoter stuff. But the fight world's very small. So, I mean, people like Mark Goddard and all of the other guys, they're not... Like, if you get into this, they're not out of the realms of possibility that you're working with them, you know them, chat to them.
Kind of like jiu-jitsu, isn't it? When you,
it is.
A small community. A lot of these niches of niches are quite small, and you end up getting a kind of quite familiar community. But
I think because we all do it, we all think everybody does it. But most people, like, I'll go work and people go, "What do you do? Karate?"
There's all the memes about
judo chop. Yeah. Just Have you got any memorable kickoffs? Obviously, you told us about that first time. Have there been any of your judging decisions or any timekeepers or anyone that you brought along with you that have caused any nightmares?
You're so wanker. No, not that I can think of. No? It's a cage fighting show at the end of the day. Sometimes people drink, the crowd, people being hyped up. It generally is spectators with other spectators, fans.
Yeah, it's not generally people that just can't keep their eyes on a stopwatch.
I don't know what you mean. I think it's alleged.
We'll move on from that.
I mean, I can tell you what happened if you want.
I still haven't heard the full details.
Well, let me tell you. It's one of the biggest shows in the north is a show called Cage Still. Huge show. It's
really, in Doncaster.
Yeah, up in Doncaster. Yeah, it's really well run. Brilliant show. It's got good guys on it. It's still it has some pro fights. Most of them are amateur. But up near Doncaster is Coles and Gracie Hull, which is a gym run by Owen.
Yeah, whose Mike's name was besmirched his name in recent episodes.
Sorry about that.
Mike just not been able to read. So
I just got him confused with someone. Apologies again.
So we had a timekeeper, a guy that will remain nameless. I think you've already mentioned him.
maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe not. But basically, what happened was we had 4 professional fights. So professional fight is 5 minutes. After that, it went to 3 title fights, but they were amateur. So that would be 3 minutes or 5 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're confusing me. I can see how it happened.
Well, it's on a bit of paper in front of you, so it's not that confusing.
I'm only taking the piss.
Yeah. And to be fair, it was a good fight, and the timekeeper thought it was still a professional fight. So it overrun by 27 seconds. Now, the issue that we had was that the guy won it in the 27 seconds.
That it overran.
Owen Livesey's guy. Yeah. And then the coaches for the other guy were already by the door. They were kicking off. Everybody come running in. The promoter's in there. Everybody's blaming the ref, this guy called Lee, which it wasn't his fault at all. And they decided then, right, look, we'll go to round 2. They should have deemed it a no contest.
Yeah.
But
Was it so? You got a sub in the 27 seconds? Was that?
Yeah, he got rear naked in 27 seconds. And so they went to round 2. Just
quickly, who makes that decision? Because surely should that not sit with the officiating staff, or would the promoter make that final call? Because that I'd have thought that would be a no contest based on what you've said.
I think the officiating team said that this should be a no contest. That's what they said.
Were both teams happy to go?
No, both teams wanted it to go to the second round.
Okay.
Because obviously, the guy who lost wants to carry on fighting. The other guy thinks he can win.
He's already subbed him once.
Because he's already subbed him once. But then you've got to think that adrenaline of thinking you've won and all of that, like that's probably like quite a big dump. And so they went to round 2, and basically it went the full way. It went round 2 and 3, but the guy, from what we judged it, lost. Didn't go down well at all. So the guy who won lost. Who won? It was for a title. The other guy lost his unbeaten record, and now it's been deemed a no contest. So
retroactively.
Yeah. So there was like it all kicked off afterwards as well.
Didn't mean to put you in a bad position about this either.
Sorry?
Didn't mean to put you in a bad position like you're in.
No. You're in a bad position.
Yeah. It's just it's actually an insight into how things can go wrong, like, you know, for other people.
Oh yeah, it does all the time. Like things. I mean, I've been there. There was one show I was on. Guy kicked another guy, stepped back, and his leg snapped completely in half.
Are you just recalling Conor McGregor and fucking Dustin Poirier?
No, it was like that. It was right in front of me. But the issue was,
you hate that shit as well, eh?
I do. I'm terrible. I've been brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't like breaks.
I'd just like to break my spirit.
And a judge at fights.
Having
a look, watch for his fingers.
But it broke in front of me, and they didn't have a doctor on
Jesus
in the place. They had medics, but they didn't have a doctor. So then we called an ambulance, and the ambulance took 45 minutes to get there. So the guy's sitting there in the cage, his leg facing the other way.
Did he say to the other guy, "Your wife is in my DMs"? You definitely have to, wouldn't you, if you think of it?
I don't know. It might have been before.
Probably before that.
Yeah, it might have been before.
Sorry, that's just me going.
Those are some memorable moments, I suppose. So, speaking about competing in MMA, as someone who's done both jiu-jitsu and MMA competitions, I know we've talked a little bit about this. What's the difference? Do you see jiu-jitsu competitions in the same way you do MMA?
Absolutely not. I don't understand people that get nervous about doing jiu-jitsu competitions generally. Like, I get why people do, but I think when I did MMA, or even kickboxing or boxing, like I genuinely was worried about getting my head kicked in. Yeah. So it would start messing with me like a week before, and this might be the same for people doing jiu-jitsu, but it'd start messing with me about a week before, and especially that little room when you warm up, or your warm-up area before, like back in the day when I used to, it could be just like almost like a coat cupboard, and he'd be warming up in there, and I used to think to myself, I need my missus to ring me and tell me there's an emergency just so I can go. Like, it's terrible. But you get in there, the bell goes, you get like touched once, like with a punch or a kick, or like, and you're fine. You're just into it. So when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I've always found it quite easy to go to the competitions. I don't think that I'm going to get a swollen face or a broken orbital or punched or kicked or stuff like that. Like, obviously you still can get hurt, but
just while you're on that, sorry to cut across you, what's the worst injury you've had from MMA?
MMA
or jiu-jitsu actually?
Jiu-jitsu, I snapped my ACL. MMA, I've broken my nose, a couple of ribs, most of my fingers.
So the longest recovery would be the
ribs.
The worst
ACL,
one
yeah.
I've had is the ACL, and that was
that's
jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that was in a comp actually. That was at Klios, snapped it at Klios. That was somebody put me in a lockdown and straightened their leg out and bent my leg the other way, and it just snapped. I heard it pop. Yeah, and what's his name? Raspberry Ape. Dan Strauss. Yeah, he was. I remember him going, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It's like I think I was a blue belt at the time.
You get any anxiety competing after that? Because you're saying you don't really get any nerves.
To be fair, I didn't have any anxiety competing after that. The more anxiety I got was started standing up. That's the anxiety I got. I didn't want to get thrown and hurt my knee again. I'm more nervous about my knees than I am anything else. So unfortunately I had to sit down, play guard, stuff like that. But I don't. That's the only bit of anxiety I had. It took me a while to get back on the mat.
I actually said that last week that we had a conversation there not so long ago that like I don't have a guard game and you were saying in blue belt, but you never mentioned the reason you started playing guard game was because you broke your fucking knee.
No, that's not why I started playing guard. There's like I said to you then, like if you're not good at something in jiu-jitsu, force yourself to do it. Force yourself to do it. Like I was exactly like when we had that conversation, I was exactly the same as you. I used to always be on top, always trying to pass, always trying to stay heavy. And then when I would find myself in a position where I'd have to play guard, my guard was dog shit. And I know there's people listening to this now who I call friends that aren't my friends. They're saying your guard's still shit. But now I sit down and I play guard, and I literally, that's all I do now. I never stand up. Like I've rolled with both of you. Have you ever seen me come for you?
I didn't think you could stand up, to be honest.
No, I mean I'm old.
I thought you just sat down because you're kind of overweight and old.
Okay.
There are any differences in your prep between MMA and jiu-jitsu? Like, do you take your prep more seriously because of the anxieties that we mentioned, like being worried about having a shit beat out of you?
Yeah, no, but in MMA, I would like diet would be on point, everything would be on point. I'd like it. It would be all I was thinking about because of the anxiety.
Because you have to make weight as well.
Yeah, in jiu-jitsu, I've missed weight
a
couple of times.
Were you cutting weight in MMA? Would you used to cut?
Yeah.
Do you cut weight in jiu-jitsu? Sorry, actually. Do you cut weight in jiu-jitsu?
No,
neither do I. I don't.
I tried to. Well, I did in the lower belts. I did, but I'm not a massive competitor. I've competed at every belt.
Are you still looking to compete?
Yeah. I've competed at every belt. I've got gold at every belt. So I haven't at brown yet, and I haven't competed at brown yet. So
we actually had a question on the.
You go on, you ask it.
We had a question on the back of that. Zach, you might have thought he might have came for you like you came for him, but he didn't. He was actually quite nice, and he said he knew you won gold.
I don't know what you mean. First off, my question to Zach was a normal question.
Do you look like a cartoon alien made from like a puppet?
Not do you look like a He definitely does look like.
I don't know if you know, Brendan Sharp works very hard, mate.
But no, what he said was he said you won gold at every belt you've competed in. Yeah. Which one was your favourite? And why?
Oh.
No,
which is actually a really good question.
Which one felt like the biggest achievement and whatnot?
This question has been sponsored by Magners.
I don't know, to be fair. That is a good question. I'd probably white, to be fair, if I'm being honest, because the others I sort of thought to myself that I should know jiu-jitsu, I should be winning, or I should be doing well. But when you first start and you're testing yourself, so for all of those guys that are white belts and going out there, you should definitely try and get some
comps under your belt.
Yeah.
Because you miss it actually, don't you? When you go to blue, it's like, I wish I could have got a few more white.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember my first one that I got silver at. For the first match I had was just basically me and this dude holding each other's sleeve and gi top and walking around in a circle for a good 3 minutes, just not knowing what to do. So when I did get the gold at white, it was I would say that one probably for me, because the others I've been doing jiu-jitsu for, so you've been doing it for so many years at that point.
You believe in your skill though as well. You're very confident. Like when we went to Fleet last time, you were like, like, I mean, I don't know what you said. Stuff doesn't go through your head, but like you talk a real big game. You're like, you want to fucking smash this fella. Yeah. No disrespect to any competitors that might be listening.
Allegedly, I might not have been in the right mind before I even went in.
Oh, well, sure. A lot of people are like that. That's what.
It's performance enhancing for jiu-jitsu, man.
Well, yeah, if that's what Nate Diaz says, I agree.
Performance enhancing.
I believe in Nate Diaz. Others saying about performance enhancing that everybody's on steroids.
Were all your jiu-jitsu comps under Mathouse then? You didn't compete any? It was just MMA at the other spot. You didn't do any.
Yeah, like I said, I did one no-gi thing,
and
I got smashed, if I'm being honest, years and years ago. I think I got to the second round and then got smashed. But yeah, everything's been under Mathouse. I've been as the first ever member.
First still remaining, right?
No.
Have you seen the bio?
Yeah, I wrote it.
You did not buy it. Did you write that?
Of course I did.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Why don't you believe it?
I just don't know. I just don't believe you wrote.
This is a what is it, Mike? Explain it to people who haven't seen the thing you're talking about.
I actually this is weird. Like I only seen this today, right?
I only got sent out today, so that's probably why.
Okay, yeah, that's why I said it's people, because we actually had a slag on. I'm going into another tangent now, but yeah, it just goes like, Adam has been training in martial arts for over 16 years, competing in MMA, BJJ, and kickboxing. He's brown belt under Dominik Debiec, and has
under who?
Debiec.
Jesus, I'm fucked. Edit that. Can I bleep that out?
No, you can't bleep it.
But yeah, that's me and my dyslexia. So fuck anybody that has a problem with it.
It's a silly name anyway.
Jesus Christ. And he has been trained in BJJ for 8 years. He's won gold medals at every belt from white to purple at regional competition. His background in fitness, instructing and personal training, even though his office bod is new, I should just stop reading. I'm just going to give it up.
Yeah. It mentions his office bod, which is like a dad bod, but for the office, right? Sure. Well, we could have just read that rather than have him on the podcast for the last 45 minutes, to be honest, because that's covered all the keynotes that we covered. But what
and
was
in future I won't be reading.
I'll do that. As we kind of covered earlier in this podcast, Mike is illiterate, so the fact he got that far through, give him a pat on the back.
Well done, Mike.
What was that for, by the way? Like coaching?
I think Dom's put. It's not just me that's on there. There's other guys on there that are very,
Christian's
very good.
on it,
it's all for private training at Mathouse if anybody's interested. Dom's on there. I think Connor, Steve.
We've got privates with everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. So if anybody wants private, there's like a catalogue of guys on there that you can choose. I mean, all of those guys are very, very good and very.
So it's actually quite a good segue, Mike, despite the reading, because I did want to talk about coaching, like because obviously you were a PT in your distant past. I think it was quite distant, right?
I still do it. Well, I've got one client.
You've still got some clients, but it's not it's kind of more of a side hustle now. Yeah. But you coach at Mathouse. Obviously, the number of classes that you've coached fluctuates based on kind of personal situation. But is coaching something that you still enjoy? Do you see it as a necessary evil, as a higher belt? Because I do know that there's a kind of unwritten rule that to progress to black belt, there needs to be some coaching. So is it a passion, or is it?
I do like coaching. It's one of the things is, I think when you start doing these things, because I've been coaching, I mean, like I said earlier at the beginning, I've been doing the beginner's course for a long time, and it's fairly recent where I've been taking adult classes. So I do 2 a week and I cover classes, etc., and I'll help out with kids classes as well. But I do like it. It took me a while, because there was times where I thought to myself, I'm teaching more than I'm training. And I've spoken to you guys about it before as well. Like, as a coach, you can come in and you can roll, etc. But I always find it very weird to take away other people's training. Like, if there's even numbers, like me going, right, Mike, you sit out, I'm going to roll this one. Yeah. Even though you're paying to come and stuff like that, where I'm the coach. I find that odd.
Do you enjoy watching the other people progress to jiu-jitsu, like watching them?
Yeah, no, I do. It's one of those things of like now that I've been doing it for a bit, guys come up to me, they talk about things like, oh, that, what you taught me the other day, I've been hitting that's been working out for me, like, and seeing like...
It's actually like we've got something on that later as well, we'll come back around to.
Well, seeing the lower belts, the people that are lesser than me, that are worse than me, like yourselves.
Fair play.
No, it's good to see everybody, because you can always tell who's good and who's getting there, and you can see the progression of people, and it's nice. It's nice to be able to.
Well, you're involved in it.
That. Yeah, it's nice to like and people, and we do talk. Like all of the instructors do sort of say to each other, like, "Oh, this guy's good," or "That guy's that." This guy should be this. This guy should at least have this stripe. Or doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, you have no say.
At the end of the day, but you never know. One day.
So that's something you'll keep doing, you reckon, coaching right the way
through? I think as well. It's good for your own training. Like it definitely makes you look at techniques more. There is stuff that I've taught now that is part of my game that I will maybe not have used before. That is like, right, well, I remember, I'll go to that, because it makes you look at the intricacies of it, the small details, etc. So it makes it easier to do when you've got to go away and prepare a class.
So how do you prepare? Do you have you a set program at the minute? Okay, this is where you turn down the volume, Dom.
It
makes it 5 minutes before class.
We've talked a little bit. I remember when I being someone who obviously has not a lot of free time on his hands. A lot of the morning classes, after you used to teach those on a Friday, I'd hang around and just chat with you a bit. And I remember you talking through some of the planning you were doing of classes. And then I remember a little week later walking out of a class when you were teaching a beginner class, and you were teaching something exactly that you'd broken down to me the week before. So do you just watch instructionals and then repeat it the week after, or is there more
He's just rubbing it off someone's page.
A lot of Instagram, drillers are killers.
On the drive-in.
Shout out to drillers are killers.
Shout out to drillers are killers. No, it's a lot of what I found when I first started doing it is I would take things that I was good at and that I could explain.
Yeah.
Because I think with teaching, it's not just knowing the technique, it's being able to answer the questions that then come from said technique.
So you want to be comfortable with it, like?
Yeah, so what you end up teaching is stuff you know inside and out. Like, you know that, right, I'm going to do this, he's going to put his hand there. If he doesn't, I'll do this. Well, if I'll put my leg here, etc., I'll grab there. And then from then you start, like, it's difficult as well. Like, say, if I'm teaching an advanced class to a beginner's class, you need to make sure that you're teaching something that's not boring for the advanced guys, but then you need to be able to be teaching something that's for the beginner's class, but maybe not. I mean, they need to learn everything.
Yeah.
So, like me just showing them a Kimura over and over again is going to get real boring. I've got to then show them a Kimura escape. But there might be guys that come to that beginner's class that are not fully know how to do a Kimura. So it's
jiu-jitsu, isn't it? It's like jumping wherever you get there. And
so then I feel like being that once you taught something, to be able to walk around and then chat to people and say, like, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. To have that sort of like...
That's what he's a coach. No, I'm not just jump in, pick up the thread. This is the move of the day. Get on with it.
Yeah.
So you're kindly, softly, which is never a way I thought I'd describe you.
Well, he always says how nice he is, like, after he pummels. He's like...
You know how nice I am after I fucked you up last time.
Okay, so you're actually admitting to fucking me up.
Oh, man.
I'll tell
everyone to listen.
I don't do that. He says, I don't ever fuck you up. I'm always so nice to you.
I am, generally.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah.
Except that one time.
But you wanted it.
Stop for that in boys. The other thing I wanted to touch on quickly was your training while travelling. I know that we've talked a bit about dropping into gyms around the world. Is that mostly with work? You end up in exotic locations, or? Yeah,
so even if I'll go on holiday, I'll go over. Like, I went to New York towards the end of COVID. I went and trained at Henzo's place. I've trained in Belgium. I've trained, basically, like you've said before, I'll stick a gi in the bag. I'll normally reach out a couple of weeks before I'm going to about 2 or 3 gyms, and whichever one sort of gets back to me, I'll sort of try and make my way down there, even if it is, like in Belgium, it was a walk through the city, which was lovely. In New York, again, I remember getting up, I went to an early morning class in New York thinking, oh, I'm just going to go to Henzo's, it would just be cool to be there, sort of thing. And then Henzo turned up, which was, well, weird. And then it was, the weirder thing is, for people that maybe don't know this, is that Henzo come down to Mathouse years and years ago.
Episode 10, guys, listen to the story about Zach getting his blue belt.
Well, I got my blue belt, I got my blue belt off Henzo as well. So then when I was up in New York and Henzo's there at like 7:30 in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll finish my class, I come out, and I remember walking out and I pointed at him like that, and he pointed back at me, and then he walked over and he's like, I'm not going to do the accent because I can't.
I might get in a lot of trouble when this gets famous.
That'll be why we get in trouble.
But I said to him, you come over to Reading, it's great to see you again, I've just been training here. And he goes, yeah, I remember you. And I went, you don't remember me, you don't chat shit. Do you know what I mean? He goes, no, I gave you your blue belt. I was like, oh my God, really? And like he goes, yeah. And I said, oh, did you mind if I take a video for Dom? And he goes, yeah, of course. I've got it on my phone. I'll send it to you.
We'll post it out.
Yeah, he does it like a shout out to Dom.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's legendary stuff. I think that kind of goes into what we keep saying as well, enforcing about community jiu-jitsu. Like,
it's a small world, man,
small world, but full of
really cool people,
cool weirdos.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that probably the biggest known gym you've trained? I guess it's tough to get bigger than Blue Basement,
well, I've trained at Hodges, so HQ, like where Paddy is now.
On your travels.
On travels, everywhere else has been sort of just a God knows
a little local gym that you can find.
So
nice. It's nice to get out and about though. See, like you say, sometimes you have to walk through a nice neighbourhood, sometimes you have to walk through a not so nice neighbourhood.
Have you any like mad stories of stuff that happened to you while you were travelling and training?
No.
other than meeting and being remembered by Enzo Gracie, that's probably the...
Yeah, I mean, Enzo was cool.
You ever had any really weird experiences, like any gyms where it's been like, this isn't jiu-jitsu?
The one I went to in Belgium, the black belt was when I was a purple belt. He got well shitty with me for some reason, and I tapped all of his brown belts, and then I did all right against him
for some reason.
And then I did all right against him. I don't think I got him, but it was like a very.
I remember you told me the day after you got back or whatever we were training.
He got up, he stormed off the mat. He wouldn't chat to me.
You put something on, and you were like in your head, I'm going to get this guy. And
the
buzzer went, and he just stood up and beelined across the gym.
He just walked off in a stress, and then all of the rest of the people there, they were all really lovely. Everyone was coming and chatting to me and stuff like that, but he wouldn't talk to me. And to be fair, he was trying to make me not train when I first got there. He was like, oh, you didn't email the place? And I was like, I did, here you go. And he was like, oh, he kept throwing up these arguments of why I couldn't train, and I kept knocking them back.
You're dodgy.
I've never had that, like, in terms of that awkwardness. I've had it in the, when you've been texting people or you've messaged them and you get a weird reply where it's like, you clearly don't want me to.
No, he didn't want me
to come and train, but I've never managed to get through the door of somewhere and had an awkward one, other than when I ended up training in a kids class.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a few listeners' questions to finish out, unless you've got anything more on topic, Mike, that you wanted to go through.
I think unless he's anything he wants to say before we go into the listeners' question, or anything you want to shout out.
What would you like?
With your coaching, actually, if people are interested in getting privates, is that best done through Team Up or go directly via Dom?
I think everybody got sent the email, so if anybody wants me or any of the guys...
Is that only members or people outside the house as well?
It's outside because your man at work got the email. He had signed up to Mathouse newsletter.
I think anyone that's done the beginner's course or anything might get it. Because I know one of the guys, my PT client, he got it today, and he did the beginner's course, and he doesn't train with us, so... but any of the guys that's on there, if you want to reach out, I think all of the emails are on there. Reach out, and and speak to them.
Prices and that are all on there?
Prices, I think, are up to us.
Up to us, depending on your availability.
Yeah.
So book now if you don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
And what if people want to book you as a PT, mate? They can fuck right off.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they have a load of money and they really want to make time for you, yeah?
To be fair, I don't have time with the amount I do jiu-jitsu and the millions of children I have. Like, I just don't.
They covered another question, so we'll just jump straight into that. Who was it that asked that?
Which one?
Luke, it's not Lucas, but it's Luke from the gym. He says, is Squish planning on having any more children?
Luke Parry.
Absolutely not, no. I had Susie Spade.
The correct...
Jesus Christ. You know she's not going to listen. It's the only reason you said that.
The correct...
No, I'll get it.
The correct answer was from Mike, who's like, you ask that like it's his choice.
Yeah, that's what I said in the chat.
Yeah.
Which is true.
No, she lost the last one we had when the hood was open. They went in and...
Jesus Christ.
Tied it off.
And people think I'm vulgar.
And don't worry, mate. We're at the 55 minutes mark. No one remains, or if they have, they know that we're delinquents. Yeah, man, it flies when you're talking to your pals, Ken and Mike. So yeah, we'll give a mix of the. Well, as you saw, there's been a mix of serious and
I've
joking
noted
questions.
everybody's name.
Zach's one you've seen, but
is that all he asked?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, he just has no comedy, does he?
Well, you did tell him to stop making jokes, so I think he's taking your advice.
I'll start at the top, so there's no particular favouritism on these, but this kind of came from a couple of different routes, this same sort of question. It's like, do you think the days of a jiu-jitsu specialist with a few other skills in MMA are over? Will we see another like Hoist Gracie type character, or will those specialists always get smashed like recently Kron Gracie did, or Kron?
My opinion, yeah. I think a lot of the guys coming up now, younger guys, they're training MMA from the get-go. I mean, you can be very, very good at jiu-jitsu. Like, I mean, there's still guys out there that do it that will... like I said, in the regional shows, when there's a guy that's good at jiu-jitsu, if they can get hold of you and pull you down, you've already lost. But yeah, I think at the highest level, I would probably say, yeah. And
then he also, there's Will Jackson, by the way, one of the white belts, dropped a quick thank you. You taught a class a couple of months ago where he learnt a Granby roll to regard from turtle, and it's saved him many times already. So yeah.
So this is what I teach. Go back to your first session.
Yeah. So he gives you a thanks for that.
Who's that?
Will Jackson, white belt. I don't know what number he is. I haven't rolled with him yet.
What number is?
I haven't rolled with him yet. It's not like the point from which they joined. It's a rank, so it's constantly shifting. So I don't ever have to remember the same one twice either. Say that as if I'm not just off of a white belt myself. Say that with a true, only a blue belt can have that level of arrogance, to be honest.
I like it.
But yeah, and a slightly less, after that nice soften you up thanks from Will, an anonymous mutual friend.
Called himself an anonymous fan.
Yeah. Apparently you judge on some MMA shows, so I guess my question would be, what the fuck do you think gives you the right to judge anyone in a martial arts context? Not because of your criminal past, but more so your frankly frightening level of ignorance and severe lack of knowledge. Thanks.
Right, so, I mean, the guy that asked you this question we've talked about before. I imagine this is the guy with the runner's frame. And
listen to episode 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's right. What does make? I mean, but I taught him everything he knows. I'm basically his dad, so that's probably the answer to that question. I don't know what to say.
It's more of a statement.
It's more of a statement than a question. I mean,
he didn't even put a question mark. So.
I mean, it hurts me. It upsets me, and there's a deep rage inside of me now.
I think that's the worst of the lot, mate. So the rage will subside soon, hopefully. Danny Mouse asked a couple. He said, "Do you think it's fair to classify 90s alt rock / nu metal as dad rock?"
Yes. He hates my music for some reason. I don't understand why.
I think he hates the way that you play it off of your phone to the gym rather than through the speakers.
It's either that or me sing.
Yeah, I think we'd prefer the former.
Okay.
And is brown belt heaven real?
Fuck's sake.
I don't get that. So
I've lost that joke.
Is that an in-joke from Mouse?
No, that's something that Dom says I've done. Yeah. Like brown belt heaven is, I suppose, purple belt heaven, blue belt heaven. It's when you get the belt and then don't train as much anymore, apparently. So I guess it is real. Thanks, Dan. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday.
You're not going to enjoy it, man.
That's a fantastic
if I have anything to fucking
fantastic question, Mouse. His contributions have been solid lately, and he also asked a similar question to Will about the BJJ specifically in an MMA context. Actually, he asked it a little bit differently, but I think the answer we all agree on is that you need to be an all-rounder now. There's not one martial art that has a distinct advantage. Tom Lucas actually asked again, similar version of that, but in a way that I'm just interested to hear your answer on. Tommy Crionche, sorry, I should use his formal title. If you could,
this is episode 11.
If you could choose only one striking and one grappling style to combine into MMA, see, this becomes a bit more of a gamified question. Which would be the best combo? He thinks Rogan said something like boxing and wrestling. Do you agree? If not, what would you pick and why? And then he's got a second question, which is more fashionista, Tommy Crionche's avenue.
Yeah, well, I think for MMA, wrestling, it seems to, it's shown itself. It's the one that seems to be winning, like when you look at it at the highest level. But once you're down, you need the jiu-jitsu. So, and then you need some sort of stand-up. So I suppose it all depends on the individual. Like I wouldn't be able to say, I mean, I'm a judge and I did MMA at an amateur level. It's not really for me to say which one is best.
I guess styles make fights, don't they?
Yeah, but like I said in the previous question, I think a lot of these guys now are learning MMA. They're not learning Thai boxing and jiu-jitsu or wrestling and that. They might do something at school that gives them a base, but generally they're coming in and they're learning MMA.
Like what Leon Edwards says, he went straight into an MMA gym in Brum and just learned it from as a combined sport from day.
Like I said, jiu-jitsu, I mean, I like to do deep half. Like if I do deep half in an MMA fight, I'm getting my head smashed in. Like so.
Rightfully slow. Rightfully
yeah,
slow.
And well I should. Yeah. So
Damien asked, and I think he's looking for a mention in this. He said, ask Adam the top 10 people who used to give him hard sparring in the old Mathouse place, including the people not training at Mathouse anymore.
That's a good question, but a weird question because everyone that's training at the Mathouse won't know who they are.
Yeah, but I think Damien just wants to know for himself, but he also maybe...
Definitely not Damien.
You were never...
Probably the people that are still training now that are tough roles.
Yeah, Shaz was hard. Well, I mean, I'll say the people that are still there because there's no point in me saying, like, I could just make up random names. There was Big Steve and Dave, Stella Dave. And,
Johnny the Eel as well.
Johnny the Eel and
he was good,
Big John and stuff like that.
So the second part of Tommy Lucas's question was, what kind of MMA shorts did you wear back in the day? He's betting the proper Fedor style of tightness. Tighties.
No, unfortunately it was just normal shorts. I had a lovely pair of sprawl ones, blue and white. They were a big favourite of mine.
Another question Damien asked is how are you approaching jiu-jitsu now when you started in your 30s and now you're in your 40s? So what's changed in your
So the way that I'd like to phrase this is obviously you're past your prime.
Okay. Nice.
Your body's failing you.
Okay, right.
Things are harder than they used to be.
I was in a safe place.
Things are harder than they used to be, other than the things that you want to be hard. So how are you approaching jiu-jitsu as a 40-year-old man?
Well, first of all, I don't appreciate this from subordinates. That's the first thing I'll say. I haven't changed anything, if I'm honest. It's probably why I get injured all the time. I train. I'd lift weights or do some sort of exercise 4 or 5 days a week, and I do my jiu-jitsu. Well, with the teaching now, I think I'm there 6-7 times a week. So, yeah, it's. To be fair, one thing I have started doing a lot since I got older is yoga, stretching. If I don't, I cannot get out of bed, basically. I'm like a...
This is the improvised yoga classes you're known for before training on a
Thursday.
That's what I described your first day morning warm-ups. Improvised
I go
yoga,
away,
then flow roll.
I look at that, much how you put this podcast together, I go away.
Don't you dare, this is the podcast that you're on right now.
No, it's a fair comparison.
It is, yeah.
No, I do a lot of yoga as I got older. I think stretching, etc., helps massively. If you if you don't do it, I think that's where you get injured. Like some of the guys that you see there that are especially like inverti and stuff like that, those guys are never injured. You know what I mean? They're always stretched out, and it's when you're stiff.
We got a few more actually. We'll go through them all. Guys that have listened to more than one guest episode will know that we don't really hold back from asking a question, whatever it might be. It gets fired out. At some point, we might need to start filtering them. Alex Butcher asked a kind of trio of questions. Should MMA include a gi category?
No.
Or a clothes category?
No.
That's my addition. Yeah. I don't know why. You can ask him next time you see him. Yeah. Have you ever seen in your time competing or in your time as a judge, a KO'd competitor wake up and attack any of the officiating staff with their own corner?
Yeah, all the time. I had one a couple of weeks ago at Cage Warriors. Funny enough, guy got cracked, went down, double legged the referee. It took him a good, I'd say, 30 seconds to
realise he wasn't in the fight anymore.
No, he didn't even realise. The ref was going to him, look, mate.
Yeah.
And he sort of looked at him and went, what?
And snapped out.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
That's acting completely on instinct, the body, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically they've been cracked, they've gone down.
He doesn't realise.
It's a lot of the time they've been hit, they've gone out and they've been hit again and woke up and they just don't know where they are, basically.
And have you ever seen, his third and final question was, have you ever seen someone wrist locked in MMA?
No.
Wrist locks out.
There was one in the stats. Remember I sent you I posted the stats. There was one wrist lock
in a jiu-jitsu competition.
Yeah, in a competition.
When you haven't got your hands wrapped and bound, I think.
Well, I know I've never seen it. I don't. I think. Yeah, no. Why would you do that? Just punch the dude in the face.
It's a fair point.
And I'll ask Rich's question last, I think. Damien did ask a question about the quickest and hardest working man on a shovel that you've ever met.
He helped me do my garden years ago. It was unreal. It was unreal.
I knew he was looking for a compliment
I've never seen a guy dig up a garden. I think I went to B&Q and come back and he'd done it. Polish power. Wow.
Yeah. Rich's question actually now Mike added one in as a closer, but Rich's one before Mike's closer is, with your experience in this particular field, what do you believe makes a more effective MMA fighter? Big heavy hands for striking or small sneaky hands for submissions?
Okay. First off, all of the people at Mathouse I'm not a fan of. I'll say that straight out because my hands are normal size. Stop being mean.
What's normal to you, by the way? Do you have a small glove when you go to a glove shop to buy gloves? Are they small?
Jesus Christ. No, medium.
Mike fired a cryptic question into the chat about your carpentry skills.
My carpentry skills?
Yeah, you were telling me a story last night about how you don't really understand how a hammer and a nail works.
Was I? Please.
He's punchy, guys. He can't remember, so we'll probably.
How a hammer and a nail? I remember the popcorn one.
No, I think there was a sound after.
I think when you're trying to build a bench or something, I'm not sure.
Someone else's hand got in the way or something.
Oh no! Let's not. We didn't need to talk about that.
No, we don't need to talk about that. As I say, just Mike's sense of humour. Mike, just before we thank Adam, where do people get at us?
Yeah, so Degen BJJ Pod on all platforms. Degen BJJ Pod at gmail.com for Magners if you want to give me that sponsorship. I mean, you're unofficially sponsored, one of the questions there. OnlyFans has been denied again, unfortunately. So that's not happening. But just hit us up.
For all of those of you that were clamouring, waiting for Michael's OnlyFans.
Like, follow, share and subscribe always. If you're on Spotify or Apple, please click the follow link because it does help us get into the algorithm and stuff like that, and share the podcast if you like. There's a WhatsApp group that you can join. All the links are in the bio on Instagram. It's easiest DM on us on Instagram, but all those other options are there. YouTube's coming down the line. I'll keep promising it for another 20 podcasts until I actually get around to doing it.
We'll get through the first year and then maybe we'll give you a YouTube. You got any words of wisdom you want to end on, Squish?
What, for people training jiu-jitsu?
Fuck it, anyone.
For anything you want. Anything you want to say right now?
No, I don't think so. No, it's been lovely to come on. It's been still can't believe how semi-professional you are.
Well,
I'm very impressed by both of you.
Mate.
No, it's been fun. It's been good.
I do have an 80cc gold medal. Like,
I know.
You know, like you think I can't do this?
You wouldn't know. He hardly mentions it.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for coming on, bro. At some point in the future, we'll get you on again. Have a chat,
that would be great. I would like to say to the person who asked that horrible question, the mean one, we'll call him
Duke.
Duke Borth.
Yeah, the old Duke.
Yeah, well, I'll be seeing him soon. That's all I'll say.
But no, honestly, mate, thanks for coming on. We've had a riot.
Yeah, it's good. It's been good. Yeah,
it's been fun. As always, listeners, tell your nan Squish is on. We think she'll like him. But yeah, much love, everyone.
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
Catch you next time.